We're back.
Oh, I like the music, the intro music. I'll get a little head bob going. Right. So, a
Yeah.
beautiful day here in Florida, about 80 degrees, not a few clouds in the
Beautiful.
sky, but it's really nice. Welcome back to
Fantastic.
another live edition of Live Feed Read. I'm Paul Reed, your host, with the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson, Jason Crawford.
Yeah.
Um, Jason has sent some videos. We'll chat about it. A little bit
Yeah, Paul
traffic.
ignores my text most of the
We're
time.
going to talk, text, whatever, traffic laws. But first, a
Yeah.
couple of things. What was number one? Oh, back to last week, we were talking about how, the minimum wage in California and some of these other areas are going to affect jobs and so forth. Brittany, my oldest daughter, was doing just
Did
a
we
little,
talk about that on stream?
I believe we did.
I don't think so. I don't remember that.
Oh,
We
well,
talked about other stuff.
no.
Uh,
Well, long story short,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
In California, the minimum wage for most jobs $15.50.
Right. Okay.
However, a few weeks ago they enacted a law that makes it $20 for fast food workers.
Wow, that's a
At
big. That's a
$20.
jump.
That is. Well, that's a lot of money for McDonald's. But so what happens is this week McDonald's and Chipotle came out and said, "Hey, we're going to do one of two things, or both actually. We're going to raise the prices anywhere from 5 to 10%, pass it along to the consumer, or
Yeah.
two, we're going to fire people." And she goes, and the one of the experts says, "You know what the minimum wage is in reality? Zero, because if you're unemployed, that's what you get."
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what? So I don't know how this came up. It was from Brittany again, but there is a rest stop. You pull off the road, and
Right.
sometimes they have McDonald's and Subways or other types of fast food establishment.
Yeah.
There's one on Connecticut off of 95. 95 goes from basically Key West to or Miami to Canada.
Right. 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 Okay.
Guess how much the Big Mac meal is? The hamburger, fries, and a
Yeah.
Coke, but it's a Big Mac.
It's like $7 or $8 here, so it would probably, I don't know, 10, 11.
$18.
No, bro,
Dude,
that is the steak dinner. Like, what do you
dude, that's
mean? What do you
but beware.
what?
If you work for a fast food restaurant, your job, you're on
What?
the way out. And here's how else you know that. Have you seen the McDonald's marquee where it says use the app, you get 15 to 25% off? Have you seen that one lately?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you seen the new
Yeah.
one? Use the app, get free fries on Friday.
No, no.
Okay. Guess
Yeah.
what that is telling me, you, and everybody else in the world?
We're doing away with humans.
you,
Yeah.
you use
Yeah.
the app, order.
Yeah.
I need a cook.
Yeah.
You pay online, and I need someone to hand you the food.
Right.
So there
Cutting back on
the
staff.
expert, the economist, says there really is no such thing as a minimum wage, because what will happen is they will just get rid of the jobs.
For sure. Yeah.
So anyway, that's
I mean,
what
they
I'm
already
saying.
have the potential to get rid of the jobs because the technology to take the orders and stuff is there. But it's still nice, man. I go through the drive-through sometimes and like it's friendly. The people can be, excuse me, they can be friendly and it can change your day when you get someone that's just bright and happy. That's
Okay.
it's a crappy job, but when you pull up and they are that happy to be serving you or handing you or talking to you through a thing, like it's kind of cool. And I think we're going to lose a lot of that.
All
I really
right.
think so.
TV world, let's pray for Jason because he has to get his companionship through the McDonald's drive-in. But that having been said, we're going to move on.
Sure.
Let's
Because
see
we've
what
got
else.
more.
So, all right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about traffic tickets. Why don't you show
Okay.
the $1.4 million
Okay.
uh,
Grab that one.
traffic ticket?
All right, cool. Yeah, this blew my mind. So I'll just play it and we'll see. We'll
Mhm.
go from there.
I can't imagine that somebody would have to pay $1.4 million for not showing up for a speeding ticket.
Can you see yourself speeding and expecting a ticket? What if that ticketed end up costing 1.4 million? Connor Cato was driving home on September 2nd when he was pulled over by Georgia State Patrol for driving 90 in a 55-mile-per-hour zone. Connor says he knew he was going to get a super speeder ticket, which in Georgia means an extra $200 is added to speeding tickets, but he did not know the amount would be as high as it was. This next clip is the actual phone call.
All right.
So you called the court
Stop
after
it.
seeing that number of
Okay.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
stop it. All right.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
what happened
wild.
there? And I actually heard this on the radio. What happens in
Okay.
Georgia, which is the same as Florida, to be quite honest, is if you're going over in Florida, it's 35 miles an hour. I mean, it's 30, and Georgia evidently is 35 miles an hour, but it's a mandatory court appearance. And
Okay.
so evidently Georgia, when they send out the notice of the court appearance, they basically pick this astronomical number that says, if you don't show up, then you owe, in this case, $1.4 million.
Wow.
Guess what that guarantees, Jason?
You showing up.
Simple as that.
So it's legit and they can do that.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Wow.
now whether, if you appealed it and this, that, and the other, but, I don't think so, because the maximum fine,
I was gonna say, it
I
seems
believe in doing some
unreasonable.
research, that the judge can give you when you show up is $1,000 in Georgia.
Okay.
Now, whether they can suspend your license if you don't show up and this, that, and the other, who knows? But in
That's
Florida,
kind of disingenuous, isn't it?
so that was what that was up. But can you imagine? You get a little
No.
thing in the mail, say you owe $1.4 million, and
Like,
just
surely
so
this
you'll-
is a clerical error.
and so you'll know, people, if you haven't had the pleasure of driving through Georgia, if the speed limit's 55, do 55.
Yes.
If the speed limit
They're everywhere, bro.
65, do 65. They are very, very serious about their
Yes.
speeding tickets.
Yes. And they're everywhere.
And so you're forewarned that do the speed limit in Georgia.
Yes.
So Florida.
Absolutely.
So here you go. Do you know what the speeding ticket amounts are in Florida? I just pulled this up.
I do not know the base amount.
Yeah, they're for your average Joe, it's pretty high. So if you're doing 6 to 9 miles an hour over, it's
Okay.
$144.
Wait, but doesn't that change based off of what the speed limit is? Like if it's 35 or whatever, or is it all just
This just says,
okay?
I didn't go there. I mean, school zones are different.
School zones are
construction
different.
Zones are different, but basically 9 miles or less is
Okay.
144, 10 to 14, $219. Now think about this. If you're gonna speed, I would do 9 miles an hour, like let's say 65, do 74, that's $144. You tack on that one more mile
One mile an hour. Yeah.
and you've got $70 more.
I thought, yeah, exactly.
Dude,
That's not
1
worth
mile
it.
an hour ain't gonna make a difference. So if you're
My
gonna
financial advisor says
you're
not.
gonna say, yeah, I'm your ticket financial
Bad
advisor.
idea.
15 to 19 is $269.
Okay.
20 to 29 is $294. And 30 miles an hour and over, and this says an amount, I don't think it's right, because here's the deal. If you're going 30 miles an hour or more, first it's mandatory court appearance. So I actually was in court, I don't know, time flies, this year, last year, doesn't matter, where this guy had an Audi R8. And I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a little Ferrari, a little Lamborghini. It's the speedometer says about 300 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's a fast car. Well, evidently
You won't want to be putting on lipstick while
he
driving.
just got it out of the
This
shop.
track.
And if you know 75, when you get past Fowler, then Fletcher, there's a 3-mile strip that goes to Bruce B. Downs.
Right. Yeah.
It's northbound, okay? And there's really nothing there. There's woods on the left, woods on the right. And evidently, there was not, the police officer was there, he testified, there was no traffic. So it wasn't that, and this is why the
Anyone
cop
was in
didn't give him
danger.
a reckless or careless driving ticket.
Right.
He gave him a speeding ticket. But if you go that direction, there's a cutout about halfway in the woods, guess who sits in the cutout? Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy went cheesing by. Yeah, he ends up in court. But the judge she said that the clerk, I remember her saying, it's $1,000 fine.
Wow.
Yeah. So he got zipped for $1,000, but he was doing about 150, if I recall. But
there's a couple of times in life, a few seconds have changed my life. That might be.
Oof.
That
well, that R8's a couple $100,000, but either
Dude,
way,
that's wild.
I'd hate to see next year's insurance bill.
Dude.
Okay, well, that's Florida. That's the 1.2 million. What's the next one we got?
I was laughing there for a second though, because the way you were going through them, in my head I was thinking like going shopping. Like, what's the most economical? What's the most economical? If you're gonna get one, what's the most efficient?
I'll tell you, I've deposed troopers, highway patrol troopers before, and he says they really don't even bother. Typically at about 20 miles an hour or less. He goes, Mr. Reed and Paul, whatever. He goes, we could sit here and write tickets until our pen ran out of ink.
Because everyone's doing it.
At 10 to 20 miles an hour.
Yes.
He goes, but it's just not worth it when you can literally pull as many people over as you want to at 20 to 30 miles an hour or more.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he also said, we really don't have time to write speeding tickets because we go from crash to crash to crash. And what people don't realize is some of these small counties up north, Lake County and, in the Panhandle, they have one state trooper for 3 counties.
Wow.
Yeah, Hillsborough County at any given time only has 4 or 5, if that. It's 3 or 4. It's really not many. He goes, so we basically go crash to crash to crash, and once in a while, we certainly have to, write speeding tickets to let people know, keep them honest, so to speak. But it's not that's not what they do.
And everybody wants to fight their speeding ticket. Everyone wants to fight their ticket, and that just means more paperwork too. So when you're balancing the good.
Well, if you fight the ticket, he has to come. He has to come to court. All right, do the next clip. This one.
All right, let me get it.
Go ahead, and then we'll chat about that one. This one's funny, actually.
All right, here we go.
And I was doing 136 mile an hour in a 70. And as I was cresting a hill, another officer was coming the other way, and he clocked me, and I quickly looked around. There was nowhere to run. So I pulled the car over to the side of the road immediately, and I see a cold cup of coffee, and I took it and I spilled it on my lap. When the officer came up to me, he was in a rage. He looked down at me. He saw that the coffee was all spilled over me, and he says, "What are you doing going that fast?" And I said, "You didn't see the guy in the pickup truck who was running me off the road? I spilt my coffee on myself, and I think I've burnt myself." He came back and handed me my license and registration. He says, "Well, there's a clinic down when you get into Albuquerque, so you get off just about any exit down there, and you'll find medical services." And he let me go.
That's wild.
Now, that seems far-fetched, kind of.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
But it's not, because old Barbara Ann, that would be my mom. About in small town
Brandon. The statute of limitations on this?
Oh yeah, in small town Brandon. It could have been Tampa. I mean, I don't know where mom was, but it was local. She was pregnant with one of us, either Jody, Paul, or Keith, one of us. I don't know which. Big old belly sitting there, and she was feeding, and she took water or Coke or whatever. She did the same thing.
Oh.
Yep. So the cop comes up, she says, and she's like, same thing, what the hell are you doing, so to speak? She goes, "My water broke, so unless you want to help me deliver this baby, I need to get to the hospital. Bye-bye, ma'am."
Wow.
So I don't know if mom's watching. Sometimes she watches live. Sometimes she doesn't. But for you ladies out there that have the little bump, Well, keep a little
Yeah.
glass of water near you, and
You have options.
yeah, you have options.
Keep a cup of water.
Yeah, I mean that story has been told
That's
for
wild, dude.
hell.
Yeah.
If I was the bump, it's over 59 years old. If Joey was the bump, it's over 61 years old.
Wow.
And if it was Keith and so forth. So yeah, that was quick thinking. I guess I was born to be a lawyer if I was the one in there, because mom certainly used
You were taking notes.
She usually, yeah, she. All right, and then finally,
All right.
so I get a call from a kid, a young person, and he got pulled over and he got a traffic ticket for not having proper brake lights.
Okay.
From now on, when you drive around, you can pay attention and watch to what I'm fixing to tell you.
Okay.
Back in the day, cars had white bulbs inside the taillights, and your plastic cover was red.
Okay.
Because the statute says the brake lights must illuminate red and be seen from 1,000 feet. That's the statute, right?
And the manufacturers typically take care of that.
That's just what it was. I mean,
consumers responsible for.
However, as cars got a little fancier, guess what? First off, what some kids did, or car aficionados, and then what some manufacturers have done later. But this one was evidently the kid did it.
Like installing LEDs.
He put red bulbs in the brake lights, and then had plastic clear covers.
Okay.
And the cop says that's against the law and wrote him a ticket.
It's still red though, right?
Well, that's how he won.
Oh.
It still illuminates red.
Yeah.
And that's all the statute says. And I said, look, take the statute. You don't need a lawyer. Don't waste your money. Take the statute, take it to court. I actually, believe it or not, was able to pull up an order from a judge down south, Lee County, Naples, or otherwise, to dismiss the case, and said it says illuminate red. Now, I haven't heard from the kid, but I know he'll win because he's got an order saying all it says is illuminate red.
Wild. That's wild.
Yeah. So that's
so he got pulled
and
over.
then here's another one that I helped someone out on. Nowadays, cars have 3 brake lights: left, right, and the one in the middle.
Okay.
Right. My car has one in the
like
middle.
The one at the top.
Pickup trucks have them in the middle.
Yeah.
So most cars have them in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, this person got pulled over because I think it was their left tail light was out. What does the statute say?
Must illuminate red.
And
one of them does?
No. It says you have to have 2 tail lights or brake lights on the back of your car.
You've got to.
Yep.
You got that one and the other one.
Yeah, you don't need a lawyer. You don't need go in and take a picture. Your Honor, I have 2. The statute says all I had required to have 2. And so I was in compliance with the law. But I told the person, look, also go in and say, and by the way, yes, I fixed the other brake light just because.
Yes.
So anyway, it's interesting how things can why you can get tickets and how you can win, and it's just the little things about what does the statute say, and if it's clear and you comply with it, so be it. All right, well, you got anything else?
No, that's all I had for today. That's fascinating stuff, though. That's wild. I did not know about the brake light thing. That's
funny, the story. When I saw that, when you texted to me, I'm like, holy crap, that's mom. Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. I was like, does this really work? Like, what?
Well, that's why I said because again, that story's 60 years old.
That's crazy.
For all I know, mom told him.
There was no YouTube
story.
back then.
Mom might have met that guy somewhere and told him the story way back when.
That's crazy.
All right, so McDonald's workers beware, you're going to be fired soon. That would include Wendy's, Chipotle, and so forth. And like I said, and I don't know if we talked about this. There's a Chili's right up the street. The what is it called? What's the greeter called? The
Waiters, yeah, servers,
Oh, not the
servers.
waiter, the
Oh,
hostess.
oh, the hosts, the seating people.
It's a robot now.
Interesting.
That's a job. Goodbye. One job gone.
Interesting.
Yep.
I mean, I think that you could essentially put a kiosk up with lights of what seats are available and not.
All I'm saying is,
You know,
that's
it's not
what
hard.
I
But
hate having brain farts. So,
go ahead.
lawyers in theory are supposed to be pretty smart, right?
Yes.
All right. So, what has the Florida bar proposed when it comes to AI and lawyers being replaced? Have they taken any initiatives to prevent that from happening in Florida? Only speak about Florida.
I don't know. I haven't looked up on any of that.
Well, yes, we have. We will not go
Okay.
quietly into that good night, Jason.
Good.
Because
Good.
if you're going to use AI to write a brief or to do your research or to do a pleading or otherwise, guess what you have to do first? This is the proposal, which I believe it would pass. It's a great idea.
What?
You have to tell your client you're not going to do it. You're going to use a computer to do it.
Ooh.
AI. Why is that a problem? For the lawyer.
For the lawyer. Oh, yeah, because that means that you won't be able to use them.
Well,
no one's going to want to.
Number one, you're telling your client, I'm not doing the work.
I'm not going to do it. Yeah.
And what's the client going to think? Well, then why am I paying you? Right?
Yeah. Why don't I just
go
to
three is
ChatGPT to do it myself?
You won't be. Let's say that you have AI write a summary judgment that can literally take hours and hours and hours. Right?
Yeah.
Guess what? You can't bill. Who you can't bill for that?
Ooh. Okay.
Jason, I'm your lawyer. Jason, I'm going to use AI to write this summary judgment.
And then
Jason's going to say, that's fine, but you're not going to bill me for it, right?
Right.
I'm going to say, well, wait a minute. If I wrote this myself, it takes 10 hours at $1,000 an hour. I can get $10,000 from Jason.
Right. Yeah.
Good. I'm writing it myself.
Yeah.
So
the 10 hours.
Yeah. And so here's the deal. The proposal is if AI screws up and you submit some kind of fraudulent pleading to the court, i.e. the case law is no good, it's been overturned, which is already happening, to be honest, and then you can be sanctioned for misleading the court and submitting case law that's no longer relevant or correct.
That's wild. Yeah.
Once again, self-preservation for the lawyers, baby.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's very good. That's very good.
All right.
AI is being used for everything nowadays.
Yes.
Everything.
All right. Well, that's all I have. It's about 1:30.
Well, it's gonna be great. Oh! You guys sponsored the entertainment at the Seafood Festival, and that is happening tomorrow.
Good point. Give a shout out, Jason.
Yeah. So 11.
Brandon, right?
Yeah, Brandon Rotary is hosting the annual Seafood Festival. It's right up here at Rotary Camp, Florida, right off of Lakewood and 60. Just before the train tracks. They're using the whole campgrounds for it. It'll be seafood and adult beverages. It is a family-friendly environment. They're going to have face painters and like a balloon thing to jump in and balloon twisters and all kinds of fun stuff. Axe throwing, all kinds of fun stuff. And you guys sponsor
if you want to, I believe Ryan and Jackie are going. So
nice. I'm going to go.
If you want to see the clan out, give them go and check it out. It's pretty cool.
It
I'm
is.
not going because I have I'm still working with a lot of crap around the yard. That's a nightmare, but whatever. I want to get it done.
It's all good. I had to be out there this morning. That's why I'm still in just a t-shirt and my hair is all messed up because we were out there setting up, and I've got to go back after this to help them finish.
All right. Well,
but yeah, it'll be fun. The weather is supposed to be great, and there is going to be a Bootleggers is going to be supplying an apple pie cider that is to die for. Like it's so good.
Yeah,
So good.
a good apple cider is delicious.
Bro. It's
And we go
it's
snow
great.
skiing. Some of the places have the hot
Yes.
apple cider, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you, there's
Crisp.
nothing better when you're freezing to death and your
Yeah.
toes are frozen. You come down off the mountain, the sun's setting, dropping like crazy, and you got you a nice hot apple cider.
Yeah.
Cider, it's really
Well,
delicious.
this one is cold and it's an adult apple cider, but it's very, very good.
Yeah.
Very
Either
good.
way, probably going to be tasty. All
Yes,
right. Well,
it
once
will.
again, take us out, and
Got it.
I hope the Rotary Club's event is very successful.
Yes.
Read and read. It's like having a lawyer in the family.